we're going to start with Marvin. Obviously, a couple motos where 0 points were scored in the championship season. Looks like you have now moved in within 4 points of taking over second from Blake Baggett, stringing them together. Obviously, I think this is what a lot of people expected to see, and probably what you expected to see of most of your season, having those top-end finishes. Am I be correct? And does it feel good to be back after the knee injury and everything sorted out?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the goal right now, to try to gain points, and I want to say at least try to get second in the championship, and but we'll see what happened. And when you see a day like today, anything can happen, and it turned out to be great for me, not great for the others, and yeah, I mean, it could have been bad for me too, but I was able to get good starts and stay on two wheels. So yeah, the goal right now is just to take as much point as I can and see what happened. And but yeah, when you see the championship right now, I don't want to look back at what happened to some of the models, obviously, but that's racing. It's part of it.
When you're in third right now and you're chasing for possibly your first championship, it's probably human nature. Did you get back to the semi and look to see where Eli Tomac is and start doing some math and how many points that you may have gained on him?
Yeah, I did. I mean, before today, it was like 54 points, so that's a lot of points. And but hey, one crash, I don't know, one mistake, one mechanical, anything can happen. So that's racing, and just got to do my best and see what happened. And it's gonna be 2 more rounds, and that's it.
I think mathematically you're 32 if my math is correct, and it's been wrong before. So well within the sights, and another good round for you. Martin Davalos, you've come on strong the last 2 rounds. Mentally, was it something that switched? Is it something you've done to the bike? Are you just more prepared, feeling more comfortable on the 450? Talk us through these successful weekends you've had over the last 2.
I think it's for me, it's just been to get adjusted to the 450. It's totally a different animal. I mean, everybody knows I've been riding the 250 class for a while, and I've been wanting to do this for for 4 years now. And at the beginning of the season, it was just a little bit of a struggle. I mean, to hang on to the bike, physically, I think, I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared to hang on to this bike for 30 minutes. One thing is to practice it in Florida, and then to come to these tracks and to try and run the pace that these guys are putting out is, it's tough to control the bike. And I think I've been, we changed a lot in the program throughout the years just to get me a little stronger, and that's basically what we've been doing, just to try and get the starts on point. I struggled at the beginning of the season to get adjusted with that, and I think confidence. This sport is about confidence, and I think to run up front and just to be smart, and have a lot of respect for the bike. That for me is just a learning point, and super excited that I'm here for the second weekend, and just I'm learning a lot, and it's just to be behind Marv today and watch him and try and learn as much as I can. It's been awesome.
Let's talk about moto number 2. Obviously 20 minutes plus 1 lap, but not a long time. That first lap, did you know that you had to attack it aggressively because you were making some big moves in that first one? Did you feel like you were overriding for yourself, or did you knew that's what you had to do?
Well, I think I kind of was overriding a little bit, but none of us took a parade lap, so we were taking a lot of chances. Marv was taking some lines, and I was changing it up to try and see if it was better. Obviously, some of them were good, some of them were not. I made a couple mistakes, and just got behind him and knew I had to try and stick with him. I know he's great in these conditions, and I did my best to keep him close, but I also did my best to not let the guys behind catch me. So it was an awesome moto. 30 minutes would have been gnarly out there. The track was drying up, and it was getting really sticky. So bikes were getting hot, and it was awesome.
Great job today. Now the number 14, Cole Seeley. Let's talk about that. Some great shining moments. We've seen you on the podium before, but more importantly, named to Team USA. And now that it's out in the general public, does it feel different than when you were keeping the secret that you were a team member?
No, not really. This industry is so small, everyone already knew. So, no, it's a huge honor to be, named for the MX1 class. I totally understand the guys that have turned it down before me, but I have never been there, so I've never experienced, so it adds a lot of excitement for me, and I think that's something that we need. I think Zach also is very excited to go, so I think the excitement is going to work in our favor for sure. So, but yeah, I mean the race today, I mean it was tough. It was super, obviously super muddy. Being from California, I don't get a lot of that, but I just tried to ride smart and tried to avoid getting roosted as much as I could. It was really hard once you even built a gap or had a gap in front of you. Even the lappers made it really difficult out there. So a lot of tear-offs are going to be in the dirt now today, and we're going to be finding a lot of thrown goggles, I think, too.
I think it might have been Tennessee that there was maybe a slight injury with you. Are you at 100%, and that's why we're seeing the shining moments now here?
Actually, Hangtown. Hangtown had a big get-off in the second practice and pulled a muscle in my leg again. And, that's kind of what I was struggling with. And, yeah, Tennessee, I hit my head pretty good. But, yeah, I'm getting, I'm 100% now. And I think you can kind of see in a lot of our riding styles who's, kind of over it right now. Like, at the end of the season, there's only 2 rounds to go. And you can kind of get caught off guard by that. I'm guilty of that for sure. But, obviously us 3 are excited to get results and still pushing forward. So I think that's what's kind of carrying us through these last rounds.
Open it up to the floor. I'm going to take him here and down on you.
Cole, with the announcement about the Motocross of Nations this morning, I know it just was announced today, but will you prepare differently for that race? I guess what I mean is, will you maybe do the USGP, or do you have any other things you might change?
No, I'm not doing the USGP. I'm actually going to Mexico for vacation, but I plan on doing the same thing. That I know how to train. I know how to put the work in for sure. I think the work that I have put in over the last 3 months, especially, is going to really carry into that. So. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know the format. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. So I guess I got a lot of research to do when I get home. But I'm very excited. I'm really excited for that. Every day that I'm going to be there, I'm going to be, I'm probably not going to sleep every night. So it's a huge honor.
Yeah, you've been making progress, and I know some of your goals is to try to make progress here to even be better next year, even in Supercross. So does having to keep training and hammering down and then racing another race over there, does that maybe even help you overall as a rider, besides how cool it is to be a part of that event?
Yeah, for sure. It adds motivation, too, during the week. Like I said before, you can kind of see who's kind of getting over it, wanting the season to be done. It's a long year, with the 2 seasons. So, as soon as I got the call, it definitely put a little more pep in my step. I was excited to go back to the track and train and ride, and definitely adds more motivation. So it's everything's kind of working in my favor for that kind of stuff. I think I've raced a lot this year, but at the same time, like I said before, I've never been there before, so I'm really excited to go and just really excited to be on the bike.
Yeah, so did you have any hesitation when they called you? Did you have to think about it, or were you ready to go?
No, I just asked when the date was. I kind of needed to know. There's a lot, with the Monster Cup, and I'm doing Bercy this year, and I've never really done this much off-season racing, so I don't know. I need it. I've never done it, so whenever I retire, I don't want to have any regrets of not going to Destinations, not going to check out Paris or anything like that.
Marvin, are you starting to exceed your own expectations at this point? I mean, you have 6 moto wins in a row in the 450 class. Did you expect to do this well this year?
Well, I've done good here in Unadilla, so I was definitely excited. Not too excited when the first practice, the track was really, really fast, and I was trying super hard, but it was not really, the way I had to do and to do it. So You know, I mean, I thought the speed was good, but everybody was fast today. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, the goal was, to do good here. And last year I did good, so I was excited. But when you have those conditions after the first moto I was leading, so then we got rain. But the second moto is like a start, you know, under the rain and going into those puddles, and so obviously. Yeah, you want to go out there and do good, but you don't know what to expect. I mean, it's crazy. Everybody wanted to get a whole shot, you know. Those conditions were tough, but yeah, to go 1-1 again, I feel like Millville was, you know, a tough track, rutted, and Washougal was more a hard pack track, and today it was super muddy, so I'm really happy to do, you know, good in 3 different conditions.
The first moto for a bit, it seemed like you were building a little lead over Bogle, and all of a sudden Blake Baggett was right there. Did you make a mistake, or was he putting in a charge? How did that moto go?
No, I mean, even when Bogle was second, he catch me at one point. I went off the track once right before the screw you. So, yeah, I was trying to pull away, you know, to, you know, get a gap and then control the race. But, yeah, it didn't work out. And Blake was definitely on the charge, and he was pushing behind. And after the moto, you know, the guys at the team, they were telling me he had crazy lines and going outside and left, right, trying, you know, a lot of different lines. And he were catching me going up that hill there, going over the step up. But my goal, when it started raining, the goal is just trying to stay ahead of him, you know, because of vision and goggles. And I knew, you know, being in front of him, it would have been more difficult for him to pass me. So I just keep it, you know, my head down and try to stay ahead of him, and it worked out. And obviously, when I did see Lightning doing that same lap, they stopped us. So I kind of knew, you know, they were going to stop the race. You never know. I mean, you're never 100% sure, but yeah, I kind of knew they were going to do something.
I was talking with Blake earlier. He said it was a little awkward how the race finished. You know, you come around and there's people on the track, or they're waving.
Yeah.
Don't jump.
Well, they actually, when I saw the replay on TV, they actually put the red flag like after the top 10 went by the finish line. You know what I'm saying? So we were, you know, on the track, and they stopped other guys, and maybe the top 10 kept going. And then after the big tabletop, I saw one of the Red Cross flag, and so I knew. And obviously. But I looked back, and Blake kept going and kept charging. So kind of want to tell him, you know, hey, it's going to, you know, be red flag. So, but we kind of kept going. I kind of, you know, kept it ahead of him. But then I knew, I saw the red flag. And, yeah, he was not too happy. But, I mean, if there's lightning, they stop the race. That's the rules.
What was the most difficult part about the mud out there today? You know, obviously the low stuff has a lot of wet, you know, it's almost ponds down there.
Well, actually, the first moto, the last few laps were actually pretty tough because all the water were in the rut. So it was, it was floated. And, you know, the track was, you know, pretty dry at the beginning. And then it got slowly more wet. And then at one point it was like floated. So you're so used to go to the rut at a certain speed, you know what I'm saying, and certain technique, and at one point you're like, oh, now I gotta back it off and slow down because it's getting really, really wet and really sloppy. So, and then the second model was some of the ruts were actually forming, so it's actually better that way where you can put your wheels in the rut instead of sliding everywhere. But yeah, like Martin said, if it would have been 30 minutes, the track would get very, very rough. And some of the main line, because there's basically 1 or 2 main lines, and they started to get very, very deep and bumpy. So it would have been tough. We could have kept going, obviously, but yeah, it would have been tough. So I was glad when I saw the white flag. I was pretty happy.
You talked about, you know, every moto counts. You know, you have to worry about DNFs or crashes or everything else. Occasionally you'll see fans asking, oh, maybe there should be a throwaway round, or, you know, you throw away your worst score. What do you guys think?
Actually, it reminds me, they used to do that in France when I was racing 85. So I don't know. It's rules are rules. Maybe right now I wish, but if I was in Eli's position, maybe he doesn't have a DNF, or maybe I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Either him or me, would have preferred those kind of rules or not. So that's the way it is, I guess.
Could you guys just describe what you were doing during the break? Like, were you getting ready to ride and then found out you had more time? Just describe how that whole, because I think it was 2.5 hours overall, longer than it should have been. So what was going on for you guys during that?
I think we were all kind of just, I don't know, scratching our heads. Like, I actually went over to AMA, and because luckily we didn't take a vote, but I suggested we take a vote with maybe top 20, top 40 guys just to see who wants to go out there and risk it. Not because of the mud. I don't think it's definitely not a good thing to call a race because of mud, but because of the lightning. I was sitting on the line next to Marvin. We were like freaking out about the lightning because you could see it in the distance and you could hear it, and you don't know how far off it is, and it's that kind of stuff scares me. I think being in Florida now, you kind of learn like that stuff comes up on you quick. So yeah, I was just worried more about the lightning, not about doing a mud moto.
Well, it was actually it was a long day. We were definitely not used to hanging out after first moto. We just try to get ready for the second moto as fast as we can. So yeah, today it was just waiting and waiting on the updates, waiting on to know when they're gonna start the 250 race and our race, and more rain was coming, and then it stopped, and then more again, and yeah, on the starting line, actually, more lightning was out there and more thunder. So, but I guess it kind of went away, and it was fine for the second moto. But yeah, it was definitely a weird day, and it's and then shorter motos too. So those conditions are sometimes not very difficult because, I mean, you're trying to stay on two wheels. I mean, I was just, at the beginning of the second moto, I actually felt pretty slow because I didn't want to crash, that's all. And then I get more confident, and then my speed was better. But, so, yeah, definitely a different day.
For me, our team is, we joke around in our rig a lot. And, when I seen Zach come back, I was like, what happened? Like, you guys were loaded and ready to go. And he's like, yeah, there's more rain coming. I didn't know there was more rain coming. I thought all that rain that we had was it, because we had a lot. And, yeah, just trying to stay warm, actually. I mean, in Florida, it's been just absurd hot. It's been so hot. This past week, it was, it's definitely challenging to, stay hydrated and keep up with the 30-minute motos. And today, man, it was so nice to come up here and, think about wearing a sweatshirt. But, yeah, it was awesome. It was a good day, long day, but happy to be safe.
I know we keep asking this. You had 2 podiums in a row, but what's this run like for you to be doing this well right now? How good does this feel?
I feel great, and just mostly proud of myself. We, this was a last-minute thing for us, for the team, and, I've been wanting to do it for so long, and just very blessed to be up here and just battling with the best, and that's all I've been dreaming of my whole career, to be on the 450 and, to do my best, and that's what I'm doing. I'm happy to be healthy, and I'm happy to come every single weekend and just give my best. And to see these results, during the week is very challenging, tough, and we have long days, hot days, sweating and sandy and everything else. And when you have these results, it's just it's definitely paying off, and it doesn't bother me to wake up really early to do my cycles and to train harder. So, I'm lucky to be here, and hopefully just to keep pushing. And, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I just want to keep doing what I've been doing since round 1.
One last question for all 3 of you. You guys ready to go? Let's get out of here.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thank you.